Yo, what is up, guys? So today I got something very interesting. When I read the title of a Final Countdown FTK, I was like, how do you... That doesn't even make sense. Alright, just watch it and it will make sense after you guys go ahead and see how the heck it works. So, we've been talking about this guy for a while on the channel, how the Great General, the Six Samurai, is super broken. I mean, you can literally do anything in Samurais with this card. You can Exodia FTK them, you can actually have so many link zones that your opponent is locked out and then they can't do literally like anything in the game. You basically stop every single like card effect for the most part in the game, with the exception of maybe getting to Nibiru, but pretty much you'll be able to go ahead and make this combo. So what it really comes down to is Gateway being the card that lets you recycle and go over and over and over again with any of your plays. There's actually even a fail in this replay over here, but it doesn't matter because Gateway is OP. And you guys might already see one cheese card over here. So this is Outstanding Dog Maron. You actually use this card so you never deck out. Otherwise, well, you'll see what happens here. But anyways, we've got double copies of the Great General of the Six Samurai. Now, I just want to mention, having double these doesn't really help you out too much because of the link zone. So every time a Six Samurai is summoned to a zone that this card points to, you get to add another Bushido counter. But it's actually not for that effect. It's just because it's just another card that happens to be Six Samurai, therefore getting your counters on. But we've already seen Final Countdown activated. So Final Countdown hasn't seen some play in a really long time. After it got hit by the list, no one has really been playing this card. Even if it went off of the list, I don't think that people would play it because realistically, unless you're FTKing with this card, which is what you guys are going to be seeing, it's not really realistic to try to go ahead and Final Countdown install. There's too many negates in decks. But why negate cards when you could just make it so your opponent never gets to play, right? I mean, that's the point of it over here. Because I've been saying that specifically Great General, being able to add Gateway is way too broken. And in the OCG, this deck would be a next level even further broken because you could play multiple copies of Gateway over here. But you guys will technically see a fail over here. So we see a Tails activated. Hold on, I'm going to go over. Oh, here's another copy of the card. It doesn't matter because we play multiple. But Arcana Force XX1 the World, aka 21 the World, actually has an effect where if you flip a coin and it happens to be heads, your opponent doesn't get their turn, which is really OP. You do have to send two cards that you control, two monsters that is, to the graveyard, and your opponent doesn't get a turn. So basically, that's how you're pulling off the FTK. You're actually just distributing two monsters every single turn, and because of Gateway, we've got 4 counters on this, and every single time you summon one, you're getting 1 counter on each one of the dojos, 1 counter on the Six Samurai United, and then you're going to go ahead and also get those double counters on Gateway. So you're able to summon both of those monsters, and then go to the end phase and actually get rid of it. So your opponent never gets to touch any cards, unless of course they were using hand traps, in which case, well, you probably didn't pull off the FTK. But as long as you can go ahead and get the effect off, yeah, you're pretty much good to go, because it is technically during the end phase as well of your turn, so that your opponent never gets to react to it, and it takes a while for this to go ahead and go off. But basically, yeah, you already saw that he failed with the first Arcana Force getting Tails. If it happens to be Tails, it says during your opponent's draw phase, add the top card of their graveyard to their hand, but it doesn't really matter because you can summon multiples of these. All you would need to do is basically summon a bunch of monsters, courtesy of Gateway in the dojo, and basically keys on, because it's not a once per turn special summon. You're going to be able to just go right ahead, go into Star Yugioh, draw a bunch of cards, and because technically Six Samurais can infinitely go through their deck. I already showed you guys the Exodia build, but I really feel like this is one of those sleeper cards. Technically, this is just a Six Samurai deck at the end of the day, with the exception of running the Arcana Force and the Outstanding Dog Barn. There's a few accurate cards that kind of help out with it, like, of course, we already passed it over here. We didn't even see Alumni over here, which can cycle through cards too, but this card also helps out a ton. I didn't get to mention it. Well, it's going to keep on adding those Gateway counters, and it messes up the scroll every single time. Oops, hold on. This is number 60, the Duels of Forgotten Time. So this card also makes it so you would then skip your next draw phase. I'm pretty sure someone else can figure out another way to pull this off. It's completely unnecessary, but if you wanted to play multiples of these, you would skip your next draw phase anyways. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. All you do is you basically tribute both your keys on, your opponent doesn't get to play. Okay, my turn again. Okay, we're at 16. It's so nasty. Like, that's so funny how you can make it so your opponent never gets to play. I mean, that's the point of any FTK deck, is to beat your opponent before they ever get a chance to play. Realistically though, if you're playing an actual game, your opponent would probably quit. Yo, shoutouts to this guy player over here. He's probably sitting there like, what the heck is going on? Maybe he already left. Sometimes I've noticed people do this. If you make a board that's too good on like Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, people will just straight up, they'll just walk away, and then you'll combo off, and then you'll be like, okay, your turn. And they've already left, dude. They've already gone. They've already opened up another game. But the thing is that, yeah, at the end of the day, General of the Six Samurai, OP, and finally, we got the final countdown effect. It takes a while, but, you know, obviously when your opponent doesn't get to play, you're winning the game. Like, what can he do at this point? There isn't anything. If you don't hand trap it, there's no playing. You have Dark Ruler no more. It doesn't even matter because you'll never be able to activate it. So here is indeed the deck profile. In case you guys do want to mess around with it and just troll your opponent, I don't know if I would consider it a deck that's very high tier in the meta because it is susceptible to hand traps. But I've seen a lot of players not really utilize Nibiru. I've always said Nibiru is amazing, but I understand Dark Ruler no more. If you draw it, it's much better and it has a little bit more utility depending on what you're playing up against. Because sometimes you literally can't Nibiru your opponent. Your opponent doesn't summon enough monsters. But that card would be completely irrelevant to this deck because they literally never get to play. But anyways, onwards with the deck profile. So we've got 3 copies of Arcana Force, 1 copy of Plasma. This is just for the D-Draw over here. Then we got Grandmaster, 1 copy of Kizaru, 3 copies of Kizan, 3 copies of Mizuho, 3 copies of Shinai, 1 copy of Fuma, 1 copy of Outstanding Dog Maryland, so you don't deck yourself out. But you could technically, if you wanted to, because we didn't use everything in the extra deck, through theory crafting here. This is, by the way, Stardust Yugioh's deck here, but I wanted to go ahead and make some modifications. But if you guys haven't checked him out, he's always building crazy stuff, and I love his decks because, like I said, when I saw it in my email when he sent in the final countdown FTK, I was like, how do you even pull that off, right? But I was thinking if you wanted to, you'd be able to technically, instead of Alumni, you could run more copies of this. I think your opponent would probably quit anyways, but if you could somehow recycle this, technically with Emerald, I guess you can recycle 3 of them, and then at that point you would have 3 and then 4 effects of this card, and then that's 4 turns where you would not draw, and since Final Countdown basically doubles up because it's skipping it anyways. Maybe you could try to pull it off and just draw 1 card every single turn, but again, it's pretty much irrelevant. But anyways, Outstanding Dog Maryland, then we got 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army, 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods is for the Golden Bamboo Engine, then D-Draw for the card that you get for free off of your Assault Search. And then we have 3 copies of Smoke Signal, 3 copies of Golden Bamboo Sword, 1 copy of Final Countdown, 2 copies of Called, 1 copy of Gateway, 3 copies of Doja, 3 copies of Six Hand United, 1 copy of Broken Bamboo Sword, and 3 copies of the Cursed Bamboo Sword. So all it really comes down to, guys, is just making this. It's actually a pretty consistent deck. There are a few cards that we don't want to draw like too many copies of turn 1, but obviously when you can go right into Saryujin, all you need to do is make a soul. A soul lets you add an extra card, and then all you do is go ahead and go right into Great General, and then you pretty much have your full combo. As long as you have like either another Six Samurai or something else that can place a counter on, you should be good to go. It's a very consistent deck though. I mean, how hard is it to make a soul? It's right, like it's a joke. But anyways, onwards with the extra deck. So we got 1 copy of Shien, 2 copies of the Exceed Shien. It's just another Six Samurai monster at the end of the day. It is actually pretty important to run. The other effect where it gets to detach, and then where's it? You get to boost up a monster with less than 2,000 attack, and its original attack becomes 2,000. It doesn't matter. Use your FTK then. So Alumni over here lets you detach material, and then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, and then draw a card, so it can cycle through things a little bit faster here. Because there are, again, times where you do want to go ahead and cycle through some extra cards. And then we have the Pramathmech Alem Bertian over here. So I didn't get to mention this card, but you tribute 1 monster and then summon 1 level 4 Mathmech monster from your hand or graveyard. And if this card succeeds summon, you can attach 2 to 4 materials to from this card to activate the appropriate effect. So you could add a Mathmech. It's just another card at the end of the day though. But it was technically shown off. I didn't get to read it, its effect. But also we have Gusto Emerald, and then number 60 Forgotten Time. Like I said before, if you wanted to go ahead and run like 3 of these, you'd be able to technically go into Daigusto or Emerald if you really wanted to. Then we have 3 copies of Sorry Yugioh because this card is OP, and in the OCG, I think they don't know what they were doing, but in the OCG, we got 3 gateways, so I don't know, that's pretty crazy too. And on top of that, they have 3 emeralds, so you can reset your stuff as well. And then we've got 1 copy of Isolde, and then 2 copies of the Great General of the Six Samurai. So, anyways, yeah, guys, that is the final countdown FTK Samurai deck, because Gateway OP, man. But if you guys haven't seen the Exodia variant, I think a lot of you guys probably would like that one as well. I'll pin it down below in the comment section below. But shout outs once again to my homie Stardust Yugioh for building the final countdown Samurai FTK deck. And if you guys want to check them out, I'll leave them down below as well. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you are new here, hit subscribe, turn on the bell so you don't miss out on crazy Yu-Gi-Oh videos like this one over here. And if you guys want to send me in other replays of crazy stuff, feel free to go and do so at azneyesreplays@gmail.com. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one. I'm signing out. Peace.